And what's good? What's good? What's good? How's it going, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's that dude, the one and only Mind of Murdock. How y'all doing, man? I hope y'all been enjoying yourself. It's that dude, bringing it back. Trying to compare them at different points. And me as a Bears fan, proven they both got it. But the future is bright for both of them. So Washington and Chicago, I know you're definitely looking forward to seeing these guys. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and go into my first example here. First off, me right here, as you can tell, I started off with getting these stats from week 15. During week 15, we had a few situations where I noticed there was some oddities, if not similarities, right? Both players have skill. Probably say it one more time during Caleb's sophomore campaign, a few times when we're just comparing him to the world. I had to get my stats. I had to do something. So what I did right here, I made sure to get something out here that looks a little bit, relevant. So we have week 15 here. Both of them had pretty good stats. Looking at both teams, Bears fans, we already know we were 4-2. 4-2. And then we went on a 10-game losing streak. So this is Caleb losing, getting these stats throughout this time, because this is still week 15. There's 17 weeks altogether within the season. So looking at that, you already see that Caleb Williams has 3 less touchdowns, but he also has 3 less interceptions. That's a great thing. That's always something you want to see. Caleb wasn't trying to just force things out there. He was trying to make something happen with the plays that were called. And a lot of times the plays that were called were ridiculous. Something that no Bears fan would have wanted to go through, period, point blank, and they made Caleb had to go through it. He looked like he had the Mitch Trubisky, Justin Fields screen package. Yeah, you were getting some of those balls out there to DJ Moore, but come on now. Then when you're looking at Jayden Daniels, he had Cliff Kingsbury. Beautiful, beautiful teamwork between them two. He also had Brown. He also had, what's his name? Scary Terry. He's right here up on the stats. You can see it. Scary Terry doing his thing too. So at the end of the day, we do understand Caleb had DJ Moore. Caleb had Keenan Allen. Those guys weren't showing up. Why? It's the game plan itself. So further along looking at that, they only had about 30 yards between both of them at this point in the season. So that shows that both of them had a certain game plan that was built within them. But don't forget, once again, Caleb Williams was losing. Caleb Williams was losing, okay? Let me make sure I let you understand that, okay? Caleb Williams was losing. He was getting sacked. He was getting hit this whole time. And these were the stats he was able to provide to us, okay? 30 less yards when it comes down to the overall between that point, between them both, just about. Then we're looking at about 218 to 220 with their yards per game. Come on now. You telling me with Caleb with a little bit more protection, a little bit more secrecy, a little bit more game plan based off of what he can actually do, just like, Jayden Daniels was, he was set up. See, this is the thing about Jayden Daniels that people somewhat want to forget at this point, I noticed. He was always looked at as the pro-ready quarterback. You know what pro-ready means? Pro-ready simply means when he gets in, as long as he has the proper people around him, he will be successful. Simple as that. Caleb Williams wasn't considered pro-ready. I myself looked at it like, okay, he's not necessarily, ready, but he definitely has talent. And man, the future is definitely, just that much brighter than, what I would see from Jayden Daniels. Just because Jayden Daniels, you can see his cap, but at the same time, you definitely don't see the cap of Caleb Williams' talent right now. That's just me personally, of course. Bears fan. Looking at the team's overall play, you have the running back play. They had Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler, 2 great running backs that were executing, doing exactly what they needed to. And then also Daniels was executing, running throughout that time. So the team secrecy was there. Then we have us, Chicago Bears. Bears fans out there, look, I know sometimes I go hard on some players, but at the end of the day, I just try to be somewhat theatrical with things, Try not to, and this goes for a lot of people out here, try not to fall for it, Try not to fall for the trap card too much, because if you fall for the trap card, then it becomes a situation where, I just kind of have fun. It's like, hey, that's one of those things that I kind of know the fact on. I kind of just threw it out there and you commented on it. I definitely appreciate it. 300 or more yards productiveness overall from production. Sorry, man, wisdom teeth removal is horrible. Anyway, 300 yards more, being productive with their overall stats between their tight ends. Their tight ends were able to actually do more. That means that they were set up more. That means that their actual game plan was set for their tight ends to be successful. Cole Kmet could only do what he could do. And then Everett, look, he didn't even exist this year. He really didn't exist. At the end of the day, I think Everett got a nice little check. He could sit down. We can get a young guy to help out. And then definitely look forward to the next mock draft. That one I'll try to do live. I've recently had a little bit of issues on the hardware here, so keep your notifications on and definitely make sure you hit that follow button so you can stay tuned and stay up to date when we do launch that stream. If not, you'll at least see it here live on YouTube. Looking at Caleb at this point in time, he had sacks. Even at this point, week 15, he had those type of sacks. Then when you're just moving it along, you're trying to make sure you're looking at the game itself, saying, okay, is this Caleb's fault? What is he doing? Yes, he's holding the ball too long. But how long is he holding it? You know what? Then I look back at the whole season again. I did that last couple days. I look back at the whole season. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Maybe 20% of the time. Maybe 20% of the time, right? Caleb Williams is actually at fault for a lot of these sacks. At the end of the day, it's overall play design called at that point in time. Why would you call this play on this down? Why would you call, or this down and distance, I should say? Why would you call that play in general? Why are we calling the same play? Why are we so predictable? That type of thing. Those things hold back players. And then when you want him to do something that looks obvious, it doesn't look as obvious to you because of the fact that you saw so many things broken. So when something's obvious, it's like, that looks obvious, but I don't know. I'm gonna, and then go for it. But once again, Caleb wasn't forcing the ball. People wanted him to just throw the ball, get a bunch of interceptions. I was very happy at the fact that he was being efficient. He was showing that he's a leader beyond anything, because at the end of the day, if he'd have tossed around the ball everywhere, and with the team we had, we'd have went down with the rest of the NFC North, and we would have looked at all of that effort, all those interceptions for what? Okay, Bears fans? So make sure, understand, if you wanted him to throw all those interceptions and not get sacked as much, okay? Because he could have avoided that 20%. He really could have, and he could have played within this team's vibe. He would have still been sacked within 10%. Like, there would have been 10% stacked on top of that, I believe. That's just my personal opinion. But when you're overall looking at both of these players, both of them have great dynamics about them. Caleb, short-ish, 6'2". He has his I'm gonna leave that in. But anyway, unorthodox way of playing when it comes down to after the ball is actually snapped, design itself has been broken. He is beyond any player we've seen so far coming into the league, except for Patrick Mahomes. But at the end of the day, don't forget, Patrick Mahomes waited behind who? Alex Smith. Yes, he learned behind Alex Smith. Yes, a pocket quarterback that's actually decent. And Pat just came in there and did what he needed to, but this is not about Pat. So moving on with these guys. And as you can see here, I'm going to leave this example up here so you can also see this example here. This is the year end. This is actually how they end off for the year. And I want everyone to notice something about this. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see in these comparisons? Doesn't look that much different to me. But one player definitely has 68 sacks. And the other one has 47 sacks, right? One player has 9 interceptions, one has 6, right? But let's look at another thing. Yards per game. We got 208 on Caleb, 209 on Jayden. Hey, proof's in the pudding. You give Caleb a little bit more time, we might have a little bit more of a discussion, right? And not even about time. It's the play call. It's the play design itself. Because we've seen Caleb with that time. What was the play design? What was the play called within that time? You know what? Not even look like they knew what they were doing. We knew the Chicago Bears knew that they didn't know what they were doing. One of the first teams to admit nationally that the first 15 to 20 plays, they don't even scheme. What? They weren't even scheming it. And that's Luke Getsy. And it's just... there's a lot of issues with these, and even Shane Waldron, same issues. People still not scheming it. Even when Thomas Brown was sitting there taking over by himself, it seemed like he didn't want to scheme anything. It was so many issues. That would be the first thing you do. We're going to try these handful of plays and try to be consistent. That's it. You don't try to consistently do what you were doing beforehand. That's how you don't have a job, Thomas Brown. But anyway, we're not going to go there. That's neither here nor there. So taking a separate look on these guys just to go a little bit closer. We got this bad boy blown up for you all. Once again, appreciate you all being here. Definitely make sure you hit that subscribe. All right, so looking at both of them here, I have it blown up for you all so you can see a little bit more of the charts and understand exactly what I'm seeing here too. Guess what? We had players that everyone in the National Football League saw were just atrocious. Let's start off by saying, where's Velus Jones? What happened? Yes, that's Ryan Poles' fault, but that's an issue. We fired coaching staff before the season started, and I'm talking about Bears fans. We also fired coaching staff during the season, which was great. You know what I'm saying? It's great. But at the same time, it was just overall just chaos throughout our team. So we had players that we got rid of on the Bears side with Velus Jones. Then you also have players on Washington side that was actually working. They were just working. They were doing their job. Breakout stars. People that we didn't even see coming. People that we didn't expect to be as productive, like Brown. Brown was out here doing his thing, being very productive for Jayden Daniels. Very, very productive for him. He was being so productive to the point that I was seeing Brown on almost every other play, it felt like, in the playoff. Jayden was finding that connection with Brown, finding that connection with Ertz. And Ertz, man, big shout out to Zach Ertz once again, man. Great tight end. I know he's extremely sad to not be on the Eagles right now to go to this Super Bowl, but he's doing his thing with Jayden, and hey, the future's bright, man. The future's definitely bright. And he's still young. He's still young, Zach. So, you know, just continue to do what you do, and, you know, you and Jayden Daniels will definitely be a squad. But once again, just looking at this comparison between Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams, Caleb got to play a vast majority of his games. You got 17 and 17. At the same time, you're looking at both their production. Bagent sat here, got about 100% completion, but at the same time, look at the yards. Look at the yards. 11. Mariota did a lot more. But at the same time, if you subtract Mariota's 3 completions, 121 yards, that's beautiful if you really think about it. Hey, if I just played for 3... Anyway, we're not going to go there. But we're not defending Mariota here. But anyway, Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels are some of the best rookies we've seen so far come out, period, point blank. And I definitely see CJ Stroud being out there, but CJ definitely showed that sophomore, you know, hiccup. You know, he hit that wall, and he hit it hard. And I definitely understand Caleb Williams during the season, earlier this season, was like, hey, you know what? Well, who you talking to, CJ? I get it. You cool. You here. You did all right. But who you talking to? And then he did horrible. Well, not horrible. He did all right. But anyway, he can keep up. You know, Texans fans, if you happen to see this, you can come at me down below in the comments. We'll fight it out. But I'm not going to go neither here nor there with that one. We'll speak that out in the lives. But, yeah, back to this. Sorry, getting distracted. We have the defense themselves. They were locking down. Our defense wasn't necessarily showing up at the times where we were like, hey, this is it. We can capitalize on it. Our defense was able to stop what other offenses were able to do. You get what I'm saying by that? Our defense wasn't scoring. They weren't the reason why we were scoring. They were putting us in position to score, which is great, but we weren't scoring. You get what I'm saying? So you can't blame your defense. You really can't. I don't blame the defense whatsoever because the offense needs to execute. But at the end of the day, you definitely do see a lot of these defenses out here are actually scoring themselves. And traditionally, the Chicago Bears, we're a scoring defense. That's what we do. We score. We dominate. We make sure that people understand that we have a presence. We get interceptions. You have great safeties like Mike Brown back in the day. I mean, just devastating hits you would see from him. You have Chris Harris. Beautiful. You have, what's his name? Peanut Tillman. #1. Put him in the Hall of Fame today because everybody's doing the peanut punch. You have so many defenders. Brian Urlacher, one that I would mention every now and then, of course, the great Lance Briggs, one that has to be a Hall of Famer right now. You can put Lance in there too, based off of his production too. What he was able to do right next to Brian Urlacher was amazing to me as a Bears fan because he just controlled his side of the field. He did what he needed to do. He definitely did. You know, and then different players, you know, within the offense, I mean, the defensive line, like Tommy Harris, in a little bit of Alex Brown, yeah, he was all right. But, you know, that was for you, Lance Briggs. But anyway, this is a passionate game, and I really had to put my hat out here for these teams and really just put my 2 cents out here. It really doesn't matter here nor there. Both of these players are going to be phenomenal. Both of these players are going to do so much in the league. So I'm just kind of putting my opinion out here, sharing and growing this community with you. So if you enjoy what you enjoy, definitely make sure you show that support. Back to it. We actually have, if you think about overall game plans here, you want to think about how far they were able to execute. Caleb Williams himself told St. Brown and EQ on their podcast that, hey, I can throw 70. I could throw 70 with my arm, 70 yards. I could throw about 70. Definitely. Definitely. Look at this chart here. This chart here shows 47 yards. 47 yards. 47 yards. This was his longest. Look at Jayden Daniels. Look at Jayden. Do you see Jayden's? 86. Come on now. That means that there was plays out here for him to bomb it and get it down the field, and he was able to execute because those plays were designed to go off the back of other plays to make sure that it was in sync to make players open. When you design things properly, that's what you get. You get a good Cliff Kingsbury out there. That's what he did. Kingsbury is great for Daniels. Definitely. I'm surprised Kingsbury hasn't been, pulled up by anybody, but I could definitely see him kind of pulling that whole Ben Johnson thing and I want to be with the Commanders for a while, see what I could do, get them competing, possibly to a Super Bowl, and then move on to a different team, that type of thing. I can see him easily doing that because they were so close. They were close with a rookie. Why would you leave? Just become one of the highest paid offensive coordinators, if not already. Just put some sprinkling on top. And I know Jayden Daniels will love every single bit of that sprinkling. But as you look at your players here, so when I'm looking at the overall production of these teams, I was looking at the defensive side and seeing that most of our cornerbacks had their lockdown assignments, meaning they did what they needed to. Most of our safeties did what they needed to. Owens, Byard did what they needed to. They weren't the best. Owens got caught slipping. Byard got caught slipping a couple times. It happens. They're backups for a reason. And then also, since they know that they're potential starters at this point, they might actually step up their game and get even better within this, scheme of Dennis Allen. It's ridiculous. This guy has actual defensive prowess that's going to make us potentially get back to the Vic Fangio days where we were just dominant, man. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. That defense was something scary. It was something to be worried about. We're going to need a lot more teammates to understand that there's commitment in that defense, and hopefully they're ready for it. But yeah, we'll see. Because Dennis Allen is definitely not going to play around with our Bears players based off of the softness that we had with Matt Nagy, Matt Eberflus, Mark Trestman, all these Matts and Marks and just weird names. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone, neither here nor there. Yeah, this has been a great one. If I'm looking at both of them side by side, keeping it going right back to Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels. Both of these guys had a fantastic season. If I'm looking at either one, me, myself, as a Bears fan, of course, I'm going to keep Caleb Williams. And then still, if I was to rewind the season and do it again, I would still keep Caleb Williams. Why? I do not see at all Jayden Daniels being able to take this type of punishment. Period, point blank. He wouldn't have been able to take it. I wouldn't have wanted him to have to go through that. That would have been too much. Him having to go through that, that's seeing Justin Fields once again. And that's seeing how Caleb Williams went through it. But at the same time, it's about how they take the hits. At the end of the day, we've only seen him take 47 sacks and a bunch of hits. And Daniels has looked a little bit, out of it at times on those hits. I want everybody to be as healthy as possible in this game. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather, as a fan, have a quarterback that looks like he has a little bit more weight on him. Daniels can get some weight on him, get a little bit more muscle too if he wanted to. But at the end of the day, Caleb already has it. If you already have it, there's something that you don't have to work with. You don't have to work around. You could see Jayden Daniels being a Cam Newton type of build eventually, just because of how tall he is, and then get some weight on him. But that's some serious weight he's going to have to gain and actually be able to run around with. And for now, it's not too bad at all to see him actually do what he's doing within that size and stature, because he is pro ready. As I said earlier, he's pro ready, and Caleb just has the brighter future. That's all. You're just looking at Caleb's future like, whoa, this is definitely going to be different. This is definitely going to be something that looks like the future is extremely bright, and Chicago finally did it. Chicago Bears fans, I think we finally did it. I really do. I really do. And Washington, hey, you got a good one. You got a good one, man. You got a good one. That was a very good draft. I can't wait for this next draft season. Free agency first. And then, of course, we have college pro day season popping off in about a month or so. So definitely look forward to those videos. Also, right after this, look forward to a video on Mortal Kombat Chaos Reigns. I was trying to remember the name of the title. And yeah, that's going to be a great one. It's my first time trying out that game in DLC. It's a newish game, so definitely look forward to that on this channel. And until next time, it's been that dude, the one and only MindOfMurdock, signing out. Until next time, thanks for watching the Mind on Bears episode 6. It's been a great time, y'all. We did a lot today. We did a lot today in a short time, of course. Just a quick little opinion. Doesn't mean much, right? If I left anything out, if you have anything to say, you would like to defend, either one of these, I feel stupid, whatever it is, put it down below. Until next time, y'all, let's do it.